Hey there, happy Sunday. This is Andrea with ADS. And so today I wanted to share with you what my Sunday is like. And this is just going to be my life for the next first and second Sundays of the year. I live in Atlanta, but my parents are in Alabama, and my dad pastors a small rural church in Union Springs. It won't be hard to find if you ever so care to visit. They would be so ecstatic. But in any case, I right now go down there on first and second Sundays to help them play because sadly they have a musician who's a new mother, and her baby was in dire straits when he was born and is still in the hospital now. So on Mother's Day, he was so to the line, they almost thought he was dead on Mother's Day, and he's still in the hospital now. It's very sad. So she was their musician for first and second Sundays until God willing, please come back, lady. Until she comes back, they have no one to play for them, and I am not a musician like that. I don't even tell people that I play because nobody's watching this channel, so my secret is fairly safe. I specifically do not tell Black church people that I play, because telling us that you play means, oh girl, get on there and play everything. Play some Luther, play some everything, play this song from 3 decades ago, in the key of C sharp. I had a pastor tell me that one time, C sharp. I was like, yeah, I don't play by ear, so I need music. Anyway, so I literally, first and second Sundays, I am right now driving to Alabama. It's a 2-hour drive from where I am to there. And so that's 4 hours of driving plus a 2-hour service. And then add on, I didn't do this today, but most days, if my parents are both there, my mom is studying for her hygienist stuff right now. They have to continuing ed they have to do. In any case, so she wasn't there today. But if she was, we likely would have done lunch afterwards, some kind of dinner, lunch, whatever. And that would have been another hour-ish. So by the time I'm done with Alabama and coming back here, that's a full day. I'm done. That's my Saturday, that's my Sunday. So I feel like I got half a weekend, but that just kind of is what it is. I love my people. I'm here for my people. So what I do want to share is this message that's been in my heart about just in general lately. So I did one meditation this week. I told you about my perfect morning, which hardly ever happens, but I'm more conscious of it. So I actually did one perfect morning. I'm going to shoot for another perfect morning next week. The perfect morning is you wake up on time, you make your bed. This is not necessarily all in this order. You work out, you make breakfast, you eat it, you have tea, lovely, lovely tea, and you meditate, ideally, 30 minutes. So it's hard for me to meditate, to empty your mind and clear your mind or whatever. And so I actually read for half of that 30 minutes. I don't know why I have 30 minutes in my head about meditating, but I do. And so, half of that 30 minutes I read from A Return to Love, which is a synopsis book on A Course in Miracles written by Marianne Williamson, and I super love it. That is the book that has the famous quote in it that people often misquote for Nelson Mandela. I meant to flip this over, so oops. This is a 5-minute timer. I won't make it go all the way to 5 because we're already almost 5 minutes. I purposely put this here because I can get long-winded, so I'm trying not to be long-winded with you. But I do have something to share. I think it's important, and I think it's cool to me. It's in my head. I thought it would bless you, like it's blessing me, and it's making me be so thoughtful right now in all my actions and everything I'm doing. So in any case, that book does have that quote that everyone thinks is Nelson Mandela's. He was actually quoting Marianne Williamson from this book, A Return to Love. And it's so good. That book, I call it the shine quote because it talks about one of the favorite lines from that quote is, "Who are you to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous, And then it says, actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Insert what you believe here, if you don't believe in God. You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. You were meant to shine as children do. And then it goes on to talk about how when you liberate your own self to shine in your gifts, in your talents, you free others to do the same. You unconsciously liberate others to do the same. Honestly, I literally shared this with a friend the other day. He's in Charleston. I can't ever remember the exact name of this short story, but it's an existentialism story called Harrison Bergeron, I think it is. It's a very short story, and it's about how society in that make-up world, society would try to make everyone equal. Everyone should be equal. This is actually based in America, this short story. Obviously not true, but there's so many truisms in it. And so in any case, it talks about how there was a beautiful ballerina and this very athletic guy. And in that society, because they were trying to make everyone equal, the more beautiful you were, the more exceptional you were in any particular area, they would give you a handicap to weigh you down in that area. So if you were beautiful, they would make you wear a hideous mask to like level the playing field for everyone else around you. If you were athletic, you would have like clunky chains put on you. You look like metal walking, because you had all this junk on you. And if you had a beautiful voice, you were kind of made to temper your voice. People were like apologizing, like, and then trying to make their voice sound uglier on purpose. If you were very intelligent, they would put like a radio in your ear, play it loud, intermittently, so that you would interrupt your thoughts. And anyway, I won't tell you the whole story, but the premise of it was that this guy who was, young, strapping, beautiful, handsome, athletic, he was in jail and he broke out and he ran into this studio proclaiming he was the emperor. He's like, I'm the emperor, you're all my subjects. And, he's just playing around. And this is like asking for it, because you see how they make society, you see how society was treating them in the first place. So he's declaring himself the emperor. He sees the ballerina. He takes all her chains off. He takes all his chains and masks off. And he instructs the band to play their very best, the very best they can. And he has to whip them into shape because they're not used to playing well. They're used to playing mediocre. And so, once it's to his liking, he whisks the ballerina into this beautiful, like, no gravity whirl in the air, and they kiss, and then they get shot down by society. Honestly, they get killed. Very weird, odd. I know it's an existential story, but that story, I read that in high school. It honestly stuck with me all this time. And so that's one thought whirling in the air, is this story, Harrison Bergeron, I believe is called. I will look it up for you. And then there's this other element about what my dad was talking about today, combined with what I meditated about this week. And my dad was talking about today was, it's first Sunday of the new year. So his message was, I need to work on me. I need to work on me. He was actually talking about the Fitbit I bought him for Christmas. That I feel bad, because he was like talking about how he needs to lose weight and everything. And I was like, I didn't buy it for him for that, but I asked my mom what he wanted, and she was like, get him a watch, and obviously, not an expensive watch, because my dad never wants us to spend money on him. And so a Fitbit is expensive in his world, and I wanted him to have it because I thought he would get a lot out of it, and I thought he would think it was cool. And then of course my mom would get one eventually at some point. She always buys her own gifts anyway. And so, I thought it would be fun, a fun family thing to do, because we're a little bit spread out between Alabama, Georgia, us girls and the parents. And so I thought that if Dad got one, then the rest of us could like do those fun competitions together. Anyway, so his sermon was about doing better, working on me. I need to work on me, before. And he referenced this scripture where it talks about a fleck in someone's eye, and they were like, before you go telling your neighbor about the fleck in their eye. You need to worry about the fleck in your own eye and all this kind of thing. Basically saying, don't go trying to fix someone else before you've even worked on yourself. True enough, that's a very good statement. So his sermon was about that today. And what I meditated on this week, and I promise I will wrap this up for you. I sadly missed my own day deadline. I promise I'm going to wrap this up for you, but I need to get this out, and I appreciate you being here for me as I'm like talking this through with you, because I so want to know your thoughts on this. So, there's my dad's sermon about working on me. There's the Harrison Bergeron story about releasing these chains. The Marianne Williamson quote about, liberating yourself and shining, very much like the Harrison Bergeron story. Liberate yourself and not shrinking so that others around you don't have to feel insecure. That quote alone so embodies that Harrison Bergeron short story. Not shrinking so that others around you won't feel insecure. Shining, actually shining at your very best, liberates others to do the same, to shine in their own way. And so the last little thing from my meditation this week, it was about the battle in our minds and about how love in our mind produces love in our life. Because it's either love or fear. There's two wolves. This is another story from another book I read. There's two wolves attacking each other all the time, love and fear. And a granddad was telling his little grandson about this story. And the grandson says, which one wins? And granddad says, the one that you feed. So two wolves are going at it, love and fear, and the one that you feed wins. So if you're feeding fear in your mind and your heart and your spirit, it wins in you. And if you feed love in your mind and your heart and your spirit, love wins in you. And then therefore it produces that in your life. So there's so much more to that, and I have gone way over the time I meant to go with you, but those are the thoughts in my spirit this week. From hearing my dad speak today about working on you, and from the meditation and from all of that, it's all coming together for me in a very meaningful way. It's just keeping me fed during this week. So I'm sharing that with you in the hopes that I don't share it as eloquent as my dad would, or as Marianne Williamson wrote it in her book, or as Harrison Bergeron told it in his fantastic story. All of those things I'll link to you, except my dad's sermon. It's not anywhere. I should take his stuff, but it's so much to play and do all that. In any case, so I think the ultimate message I'm feeling right now is that what we think and feel matters with how we experience the world. Perception is reality, is the bottom line behind this. What we perceive, what we're constantly feeding ourselves in our heads, in our hearts, and otherwise, is what gets produced and what we experience in the world too. And so when we think about what my dad said this morning about working on ourselves, he did mention one of my favorite scriptures, and now I'll leave you alone. Romans 12:2, not to make this super spiritual, but it says, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So that's where I'll leave you with today. I think it's super critical to think about, to be conscious of what's happening here. Because the whole world can change. It's true. It's why I'm doing a grateful, and this is the last thing I'm sharing, I promise. This is why I'm doing the gratefulness journal right now. And many of you know, if you're following me on my other channel, on my business channel, and on my Instagram and otherwise, personal and otherwise, I'm doing a gratefulness journal. Grateful is my word this year. My one word for the year is grateful. I'd love to know what your one word is if you haven't told me already. Grateful is my one word for the year. I super love it. And I'm doing a gratefulness journal, and the purpose behind that is to be so mindful, because gratefulness is inextricably related to joy. I'm telling you, all this stuff is coming together for me. It's all meshing together. I'll probably be like leap years ahead of this by this time next week in these thoughts. But that's where I am with it, and I'm going to leave it with you. Share how you're feeling with this. What thoughts are synthesizing for you after all of that. And that's all, people. Mwah. Hope you had a lovely Sunday, and cheers. See you next time. And if you like this video, please do like it. If you're watching this on my YouTube channel, Miss ADS08, which I've just revived specifically for these videos, for this video challenge my friend Amani's channel has us doing for 30 days, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. I'm kind of reviving it, so anything that's not really like specifically business related, I'll probably throw on this channel for fun. It'll be the fun stuff, you know, and the whatever. So if you're my friend, this is a good channel for you. All right. Have a great week, your second week in the new year, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.